Hi, I'm Russ Poldrack from Stanford University. I'm really glad to be part of the World Café discussion on open science and data governance at Neuroethics 2026, and I want to share a few brief thoughts to help frame the conversation. Neuroscience has been at the forefront of the open science movement, especially when it comes to data sharing. Over the past couple of decades, we've seen the growth of major data sharing initiatives and repositories, along with increasing expectations from funders that researchers share the data they collect. This has created important opportunities, particularly for improving rigor and reproducibility, and also for enabling new discoveries through the reuse of existing data sets. At the same time, sharing human neuroscience data raises important ethical and legal questions, especially around privacy and confidentiality. One of the main concerns is the risk of re-identification and the potential misuse of sensitive information. As analytical methods become more powerful and there's more global attention to data privacy, we're seeing growing policy efforts to tighten controls on how these data are collected, shared, and used. At present, data sharing in neuroscience spans a wide range of approaches. Some data are fully open, while others are shared under controlled access with restrictions that depend on factors like sensitivity of data sets, the degree of control retained by the original contributors, and regulatory oversight. So in practice, we're already navigating different ways of balancing openness and protection. What's striking, though, is we still have relatively little empirical evidence on both sides of this equation. We don't yet have a strong systematic understanding of the actual benefits of data sharing in practice or of the real world risks and harms that might arise. This creates a real challenge for developing appropriate governance models. If we want to make well-informed decisions about how open or restricted data sharing should be, we need much more empirical research, work that looks not only at the potential harms, but also at scientific and societal benefits. We also need research that helps us understand how these trade-offs are actually evaluated, negotiated, and balanced in real-world settings. So I'm really looking forward to hearing everyone's perspectives on how we can build stronger evidence-based governance models for neuroscience data.
Hello, my name is Timo Istas. I'm a researcher at University of Antwerp. And I want to introduce you to an issue that we've been discussing within the European Expert Group on Human Rights and Emerging Technologies, a group of legal scholars that's exploring from a science-based perspective how the law should respond to emerging technologies. And the question is quite simple. Does the European framework adequately protect neural data? And a natural starting point is the General Data Protection Regulation. Neural data would typically fall within the GDPR scope as it enables the identification of an individual. Yet an important classification question remains. Does and should neural data qualify as sensitive data under Article 9 GDPR? This is an important question as sensitive data benefits from stronger data protection safeguards. As to the should part of the question, the answer is quite clear. All EU member states endorsed the UNESCO recommendation on the ethics of neurotechnology, which calls for the protection of neural data as sensitive data. The other part of the question, does the GDPR today protect neural data as sensitive data? Well, in some contexts, it clearly does. When neural data is used in a medical context, for instance, as a tool for diagnostics or to operate BCR prosthetics, it qualifies as health data. And when neural data is used to specifically identify an individual, it qualifies as biometric data. In both cases, neural data is sensitive data. In other contexts, however, the answer is less clear. Neurotechnology is increasingly used in contexts such as gaming, workplace monitoring, or meditation. And in those contexts, neurotechnologies generate a vast amount of data that might fall outside the current scope of the GDPR sensitive data categories. And then the crucial questions arise. Are we overlooking a crucial protection gap in the times where commercial neurotechnologies are rapidly expanding? And that is where our proposal comes in. We suggest seizing the opportunity of the EU digital omnibus reforms to clarify that neural data is a sensitive form of data within the GDPR. We put forth three suggestions which generally reflect two different approaches. One approach would be to align the definition of biometric data in the GDPR with the definition in the AI Act and broaden the scope of the situations in which biometric data is qualified as sensitive data in the GDPR. A second approach, which is more direct, would be to explicitly recognize neural data as a sensitive data category in its own right in Article 9 GDPR. The question is whether EU policymakers will seize on this opportunity of the digital omnibus to strengthen the neural data protection, and whether this classification question would play a meaningful role. If you want more information or want to engage more in depth with our proposal, please be in touch. I wish you a nice conference.